has ordered a redacted version of the search warrant affidavit outlining the Department of Justice's case against Donald Trump to be unsealed. We could be getting that any moment. Now, the key word there is redacted. We don't know how much the document actually will be revealed. The DOJ is clearly reluctant to release any of it, warning it could jeopardize their investigation, which is currently ongoing, into the ex-president. They are not, however, objecting to release the redacted document. We should see it at any time before tomorrow's 12 p.m. deadline. This could be the closest look we have yet at what exactly Donald Trump is accused of doing. As we've learned, covering Trump for the better part of a decade, he tends to lash out when he thinks he's in trouble. And even for a man used to being in basically constant trouble, then wriggling out somehow over and over and over again, he's in a lot of trouble right now. A lot. According to one report, he is asking his inner circle if they think he will be indicted. Something he basically confirmed earlier today on an extended rant posted to his knockoff Twitter platform, quote, "Even though I am as innocent as a person can be, it looks more and more like the fake news media is pushing hard for the sleaze to do something that should not be done." Pretty sure the sleaze being DOJ and the something that should not be done meaning indicting Trump. Easy to see why he's nervous. His old lawyers seem to have thrown him under the bus after he tried to stonewall the initial investigation into the documents he clearly took. His current lawyers are, to put it kindly, leaving a good bit to be desired. One of them signed a document asserting that all classified documents had been returned back in June, which was, well, proven quickly untrue. Two others have now twice bungled basic legal filings in Trump's defense. So as Donald Trump sits in his vacation home seething about the investigation into those classified documents, one phrase must be playing over and over in his head. There is, of course, a profound irony in Donald Trump's current legal predicament, which is, of course, that the intentional mishandling of classified documents, which Trump now stands accused of doing, is exactly what he said Hillary Clinton should be locked up for back in 2016. It was one of the core messages of his campaign, arguably the core message. According to Trump, Hillary Clinton could not be trusted because she maliciously and intentionally took extra legal steps to store highly classified documents on her private email server, which put our national security at risk. And to be clear, that was then and is now total nonsense. A State Department investigation under President Trump found that Clinton did not intentionally mishandle classified documents. Any transmission of classified information on Clinton's email was rare and accidental. Some emails were even classified retroactively after they were sent. And no prosecutor in their right mind would have brought a case against her for it. But that didn't matter. That didn't stop Donald Trump from attacking her for it constantly. And I've got to say, considering what we know now, what we've learned in the last 3 weeks about Donald Trump's willful, almost obsessive mishandling of some of our nation's most sensitive secrets, a lot of his attacks on Hillary have not aged well.
We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified. This was not just extreme carelessness with classified material, which is still totally disqualifying. This is calculated, deliberate, premeditated misconduct, followed by a cover-up. In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.
I think everyone has like a fair amount of PTSD from the 2016 campaign and have blocked some of that out, but it can be difficult to remember in hindsight just how pervasive the attacks were. I mean, ubiquitous. First from right-wing media and then seeping into way more mainstream outlets. It was at the center of the campaign. Conservative media even made a cause celeb out of a Navy reservist named Brian Nishimura. Nishimura pleaded guilty to mishandling classified information and was sentenced to 2 years probation and a hefty fine back in 2015. The argument, so this talking point went, was that Nishimura got the treatment that Hillary Clinton deserved, even though it was, again, a total false equivalence. Unlike Clinton, Nishimura acted willfully and intentionally when he illegally downloaded classified documents from his base in Afghanistan and brought them back home.
Thanks to Chase, Angie's not sweating this text since there's zero overdraft fees if she overdraws by $50 or less. And Kyle? Well, he's keeping calm with another day to adjust his balance if he overdraws by more than $50. Overdraft assist from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
So again, despite being a manufacturer scandal, document retention habits became the issue of the 2016 campaign, the axis on which the world ended up turning. So much so that when Gallup created this word cloud of phrases that people spontaneously associate with the former Secretary of State, emails took up nearly the entire image, meaning it was by far the most frequent response, likely both because of the private server controversy and the hacking of DNC emails by the Russians, two scandals often conflated in the public consciousness. I think there's a pretty compelling argument that all this email nonsense cost Hillary Clinton the presidency. It was an effective attack that fed into a lot of pre-existing attacks on Clinton the right had deployed and built up for decades. And clearly, the 11th hour announcement from then FBI Director James Comey that he was reopening the investigation into the emails just weeks before the election was, by all accounts, a major factor in her very, very narrow loss in the Electoral College. So then Trump became president, and while there was no justification to lock Clinton up, guess what? He did sign a law cracking down on the mishandling of classified information. Fun fact, Trump was actually reluctant to sign this bill to reauthorize Pfizer surveillance. And so perhaps to sweeten the pot, congressional Republicans added a provision into the bill to get him to sign it that made mishandling classified documents a felony, increased the penalty from 1 year in prison to 5. It might as well have been called the Hillary's Emails Act. Trump was serious about cracking down on leakers of classified information, like, for instance, whistleblower Reality Winner, who under Trump's DOJ was given the most severe sentence ever in the history of this country for leaking government material to the media. 63 months in prison for leaking a single classified document on Russian election interference on behalf of Trump's campaign. As David Loffman, Trump's DOJ counterintelligence chief, put it, quote, a great irony in Trump's attack on the FBI and DOJ over the court-authorized search at Mar-a-Lago is that during my tenure as chief of counterintelligence section, we were never under greater pressure to prosecute mishandling of classified information cases than we were under the Trump administration. Irony is right? If Donald Trump should be charged with intentionally mishandling these documents, a big if, granted, but if he is convicted, which again, an even bigger if, he could be sentenced under the law that he signed to score political points against an opponent who he falsely accused of doing the thing he actually did. The ancient Greeks truly could not script it better. The thing that seems most likely at this moment, as he faces legal peril in every direction he turns, the thing most likely to take down Donald Trump isn't the multiple allegations of sexual misconduct or the egregiously botched pandemic response with hundreds of thousands who needlessly died, or the deadly coup he launched at the Capitol on January 6th. It's the real-life version of butthurt emails.